How do you see the difference between business angels or maybe crowdfunding or similar?
Well, I think there's different groups of people providing financing to companies, and all of them clearly have their role in the value chain. Some of them being more at the earlier phases, others then more in the development phase, and some of them at the very late phases of company development. Also crowdfunding, I think it's a complementary tool to the financing chain, but it will not be the one and only tool, as angels also is complementary and has an important role to play in certain aspects of financing and helping companies.
And why would I, as an entrepreneur, want to have a business angel?
Well, I think the first thing an entrepreneur usually is looking for is to have somebody to talk to, yeah, to a bit, have a kind of possibility in a efficient way to get ideas, bounce back ideas, etc. Discuss about the future, about the vision of the business. Then paired with this, then is of course the need for funding. And I think this at the very early stages of investment of starting a business is extremely important. Yeah, usually you're out there and considered as crazy because typically you have ideas which are not the ones from today but from the future to make them happen, as Ariane just said. And I think a business angel is much closer to an entrepreneur in this phase than an institutional fund.
And how did you find the first panel that you were participating in?
Well, I think the panel was good. I think we should, get more dynamism into the whole story. And I think temperature is increasing now, and we are getting more during the day probably into more, energy exchanging and dynamism to get things moving, because that's essential.
And you've got a quite nice slogan on your T-shirt. Can you show it?
Speed up Europe, because that's for me really something we need to achieve. Again, it's the answer to Startup America should be and will be speed up Europe.
Can you just tell me a bit more what we should speed up? How can we do it?
I think we should speed up in many areas, meaning that we should make the ecosystems much more efficient, making it easier for people to connect very in a fast and efficient way to each other. And especially in Europe, that's a big change, but it's also the big opportunity, because it's not so easy then being in the US in a major ecosystem like the Valley or the Boston, New York area. Here everything is spread, people speak different languages, there are different cultures, there's different legal systems, yeah? And we need to speed up the process of collaboration. Things that belong actually together should get together, including angels, venture investors, but also the corporate world more and more. Yeah, corporate world is engaging, looking into working with the innovation ecosystem in view of not only M&A, but mainly in view of sourcing innovation, sourcing ideas, get a window to the market. And I think in Europe we have a lot to offer in this respect, especially with a lot of publicly financed technology and innovation, which needs to reach the market, but with the need of help of all the actors involved in the ecosystem.
And where do these innovations come from? What sector mainly?
Well, I guess there is always a bit too much of a focus on digital and e-commerce, etc. So the internet plays. I think in Europe, and that's again a strength of Europe, it's much more diverse. There's such a rich infrastructure of public or semi-public and private research institutions which generate innovation all the time. Now this coupled with entrepreneurs, young people who want to take up the challenge, provides a very sound hotbed for extremely interesting applied innovation for today's, but especially tomorrow's markets.